Zoyithola kanjani? Maungayi esikolweni. Zoyithola kanjani? Maungayi esikolweni. And now you're going to close my face. How are we going to work? Yeah, let's try them. Comrades, as I was saying, we're welcoming the president of the ANC Youth League and President Collen Malatji, together with the second Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Maruping, and all leaders that are here, the former leaders here, the former presidents and SGs of the Youth League, the NEC members of the ANC, the NEC members of the ANC Youth League, and the two DSGs and the Treasurer General. Comrades, welcome you all. Most importantly, we welcome you, comrades, who have joined us, mayors, councillors, speakers, the whole troika. We welcome you, comrades, all leaders, ANC leaders of provinces, regions. We welcome you, comrades, as we start our program. Our program is as follows. This is our agenda, comrades. We're going to have a national anthem, and then we'll have a prayer after the national anthem. After the prayer, we are having a welcome address. After that, we'll have acknowledgement of guests. We'll have messages of support. And then we are going to have an address from the president of the ANC Youth League. And we'll also have an address from the former president of the ANC Youth League and the Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Fikile Mbalula. We'll have vote of thanks and we'll close. So comrades, let us stand on our feet. Men, can you please take off your heads? And then we have a very progressive person who can lead us in a national anthem. Okay, perfect. Nkosi sikeleli Afrika maluphakanyiswa phondo lwayo izwa imithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo murena bulu nasitshaba sayesu ufedise dintwali matswenge usibuluke sibuluke sitshaba sa Yesu sitshaba sa South Africa, South Africa. Edi bomfa non se yeme and the deep defa together and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land. Thank you, comrades, for the national anthem. Can we...
Odimo, Odimore, oh God, so says, die, swede, so says, so says. Your instruments, the drugs and substance abuse that destroys families, that destroys future doctors, that destroy a great future of good leaders. Is gender-based violence. Our to advocate for the economic empowerment of young people. Rarapela modima wana rutle khosi ya khalalelo. Utlile modima wana bahlanka ba gago. Bo Joshua modima wana utlile bo Samuel. Utlile bo Paulos le rona modima wana re a tshepa re a dumela gore modimo wa rona. O modimo wa rona. O modimo wa rona. Ebile wa tshepagala wa utlwa wa araba jana le ka go sena bokhotlo. Amen. Amen.
Comrades, Amandla, we're now going to, we thank you, Moroto Arena, Malatji. We're going to move very quick with our program, comrades. The temperature here, it's too much. We're going to now call upon the provincial chairperson, Amandla. I agree we're going to have one meeting, comrades. All right. We're going to call upon the chair of the province of Northwest, Comrade Vessels Muruing, to come and welcome us. Chair.
Mandla! Viva President Malatji! Viva! Viva SG Sakani! Viva! Away with Donald Trump! Away! Away with Donald Trump! Away! Thank you very much. Let me greet the DSG of the ANC, comrades, the Rupzela, and the collective of the NEC of the ANC. Greet the president of the Youth League and his collective. Comrades, in the interest of time, you are welcome to the province of Moses Kotane, province of John Beaver Marks, province of Mama Thandi Modise, province of the leadership of the ANC, comrades. Importantly, comrades, it is to know that you are welcome to the province that is leading in terms of platinum production. But comrades, Marupini, what is disappointing is that the socio-economic condition of this province, they do not reflect a province that is leading in terms of platinum production and other minerals. It is for that reason that we are saying to you, Comrade Marupini, and the collective of the ANC, the issue of youth unemployment. A danger to the existence of the ANC. It is for that reason that as the province of the Northwest, like many other provinces, we support what the president of the Youth League has uttered yesterday, that national chair of the ANC, Comrade Gwede, is out of order. Young people are looking for jobs. They are not lazy. We are saying to Comrade SG, Comrade Mbalula, in the Youth League we call him Mchuchisi. He must chuchisa Comrade Gwede. Comrades, it can be. He started when he was addressing a meeting of councillors. He said councillors of the ANC, they don't have a capacity. This time around he has went too far, not with young people that are suffering. Comrade Marupini, if you are able to call young people on a Friday and a hall is packed like this, that signals a problem. We can't be excited about that because these young people, because these young people, they are not supposed to be here. They are supposed to be working for their future. They are supposed to be working for the future of this country. Comrades, we have registered the progress because we have called for a technical university in the area of Bujanala. We are calling on the ANC leadership to fast track it so that we've got the mining university. It is our view as the collective PEC of the Northwest that a mining continues to be a strategic sector that can be utilized as a tributary to make sure it ignites other industries like farming, because we remain a farming province. Comrades, on that note, you are well welcome. Enjoy the January 8th statement of the ANC and the lecture on the times and life of the killer man, and importantly protect the revolution. And let us make sure we protect our leader, Comrade Nuku Amandla. Owecho! Uzothola kanjani? Viva President Cyril Ramaphosa, viva! Viva Secretary General Mbalula, viva! Modla!
We will request the former SG, Comrade Collen Ngudle, to join comrades on the stage. Comrades, Amandla, way to comrades, can we keep quiet? Comrades. Can those apples stop a bit so that we can have attention of comrades? Those who are distributing apples. Hey, comrades. Hey, comrades. Comrades who are distributing apples, can you stop? Amandla. High moral. Amandla. High moral. Amandla. High moral. Row, young lions, row. Comrades, you have come to the lecture of the ANC Youth League, and I don't think we can all speak in one meeting. Can we have order, comrades? Can comrades keep quiet? ANC members? ANC members in front of me, can we lead by example? Comrades who are standing up, sit down. Comrade Paseka, can you have comrades keeping quiet there? Comrades, we will continue when you keep quiet. Comrades, Hey, comrades. 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 Can we have high level of discipline in the program of the Youth League? There's no way that a speaker will be speaking this side and you are speaking on the other side. Can we respect each other so that we run this program in a proper way? I get it, comrades. We don't want people living here thinking young people of the Youth League don't listen. I get it, comrades. We know that you listen ourselves. We know that you listen. Thank you, comrades. Can we proceed with our program, and can we keep the noise at this level when we are having speakers in front of us? I'm going to request now the first Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Zama Kanyasa, to come and welcome all our guests that are with us today. We are blessed. You can see all the guests that are here. Former leaders, leaders of the ANC.
In class. By expropriating those buildings, 10
people who brought us to be where we are today are here. To everybody present here, comrades, the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League, the NEC, newly elected, hardly a month in office, of the ANC Youth League that has been able to put up this magnitude event within no time. All the chairpersons of the ANC of regions, all the provincial executive committees of the ANC that are present here, all sure that we renew our organization, strengthen our organization and our structure in making sure that come local government election and all other battles that we are before us, we win them. Mokaba, the renewal agenda, as Comrade President Ramaphosa said, and I quote, renewal requires that we reaffirm the organizational culture and traditions as a movement rooted among the people, representing their interests, their concerns and aspirations, close quote. As we gathered here this afternoon to reflect on the life and the fearless revolutionary and fiery leader of our time, there are many lessons we can take from the late Comrade Peter Mokaba's life. Given a myriad of issues that confront the ANC and the society today, the youth of today, yourselves, comrades, must ask a question: what would be Comrade Mokaba have done if faced with the same challenges we face today? How can we then draw aspiration, guidance, and lessons from his courageous life? We must therefore, comrades, continually ask these questions, because we know that Comrade Peter Mokaba was a fearless leader. Comrade Peter Mokaba abangasabi ukukhuluma izinto esisaba ukuzikhuluma. He was not really, comrades, mind. He would mind to tell us as the leadership of the ANC where we commit mistakes. He would not hesitate to talk as it is and say, like a young person at the time, we are called upon, comrades, to copy and emulate Comrade Peter with the challenges that we have today. Comrades, from his courageous life, we know that Comrade Peter Mokaba would have strongly spoken out against the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide, which has now been classified as a national disaster. We know that Comrade Peter Mokaba would have called for decisive actions against the alarming increase in social ills, teenage pregnancy, substance abuse, and the moral decay that we bear witness in our families and our communities across our country. We all know, comrades, that Comrade Peter Mokaba's life also offers a license in resilience and courage for young people. He inspired millions of our people to identify and join the struggle for betterment of the lives of our people. He kept the fires and the flame of the revolutionary burning in South Africa, even at the face of great risk to his own personal life. He was always amongst ordinary people, and that is why many young people could easily relate to him. That comrade, that leader of ours, is the ultimate embodiment of Martin Luther King Jr. enduring words, I quote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in a moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at a time of challenge and controversy." I close quote. So, comrades, today and for many years to come, we must always reflect on the enduring legacy of this baobab tree of a man whose dedication and unwavering commitment to social justice and equality continue to inspire the work of the ANC, including ourselves. Mokaba, Comrade Mokaba always identified himself with the ordinary people, and ordinary people in turn identified with him. That is why, comrades, he was so popular in townships and informal settlements and South Africa as a whole. And that is why today many settlements in South Africa and prominent public spaces are named after him or bear reference to his name. My comrades, as we reflect on Comrade Mokaba's life here today, in the context of the current challenges confronting our young people, yourselves, comrades, we honor his enduring legacy and reaffirm the universal values he championed as we strive towards a more just world. Let us draw strength from Comrade Mokaba's courageous life and work together to uphold his principle that he so dearly cherished. Let us keep his memory alive and fight for a better life for all of our people. Let us not lose hope even when the road before us is long and winding and filled with obstacles. We owe it to him anyway, and many gallant heroes and heroines of our movement as we celebrate the 114th anniversary of this year. We owe it to the generation of young people in our country who look upon us for long-lasting solutions to be really serious but not insurmountable, contemporary challenges that confront them today. Mokaba, young lions, Mokaba, in memory of him, we must reignite and re-energize youth action as we mobilize the ground forces to register and vote, to defend and protect, comrades. The ANC's hard work won gains and legacy in the upcoming local government election. This year, comrades, is a year of do and die. Our detractors have told us what's going to happen. Like always, comrades, they always read our obituary before anything happens. However, we always disappoint them. And this time around, with the vibrant youth league that we have in our midst, led by Comrade Malatji, we know with our eyes closed that we are going to defeat any little thing, insignificant or significant, that seeks to take us back to where we were. We hear the heroes of today that seeks to take us back to apartheid government. Under the wind of Mokaba, looking at us with smile, he trusts us that we shall not go back. However, we will soldier on. With yourselves, comrades, your capabilities, with all that you have in you, our structures working together, let's unite in action and make sure that we make the ANC proud. This is the Youth League of this year, the ANC Women's League, the ANC Youth League that must carry the ANC into the total victory in the 2026 local government elections. We trust you, comrades. Working together, we will do it. I thank you, Comrade Chairperson. Amandla! Gawe! Thank you very much, comrades.
Elele, se la banda vamnya. Elele. Comrades, can we stand up and welcome the SG of the ANC as he enters? With a hot slogan, let's continue.
One, two, right.
Teta, teta, bullet.
Amandla.
Teta,
Away,
bullet. Hi, comrades. Can you disband what you are doing there? Teta, teta, bullet. Teta, bullet. Sashoka mnandi. Sashoka mnandi. Amagwala azovale. Azovale. Azobaleka. Azobaleka. Teta, teta, no bala. Teta, no bala.
Hayo satupule
Sashoka mnandi
no bala
Temalo
no hayo teta no bala sashoka mnandi teta teta no bala teta no bala ati teta no bala teta no bala ata teta no bala teta no bala teta
Ndichikungwa with us. We also have in our midst the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in Limpopo, Bomstanda, Omadaje. Comrades, now let's stand up, let's stand on our feet and welcome the President of the ANC Youth League, President Collen Malatji, to come and address the lecture. President.
Usabalasa, usabalasa, sabalasa. Usabalasa, usabalasa,
Susabalasa, susabalasa, sabalasa, susabalasa.
usabalasa, usabalasa. Usabalasa, usabalasa,
Wetambu tina sikoti weka.
usabalasa,
Oliver wetambu.
abalasa,
Wetambu tina sikoti weka.
usabalasa,
Oliver ukusocha. Oliver molo socha. Oliver molo socha. Oliver Mandla awethu tambogale walana
hamangeba,
aya mangeba wa
hare tambo kwale wala, hare tambo kwale wala, oh amangeba wa, ayo tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, hare tambo kwale wala na. Tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, hare tambo kwale wala na, iyo aya mangeba wa, hare tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, hare tambo kwale wala, oh amangeba wa, hare tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, hare tambo kwale wala, oh amangeba wa, ayo tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, tambo kwale wala, oh amangeba wa, hare tambo, hare tambo kwale wala, tambo kwale wala, oh amangeba wa, hare tambo.
Mandla keretso wa keretso wa
Horoba le to yo toa.
kere eyense bakama socha
Oh yo toa.
kere eyense bakama socha
Horoba ayo toa.
keretso wa
Horoba le yo toa.
kere eyense bakama socha
Horoba le yo toa.
keretso wa
Horoba le yo
Kere ese batla masocha.
Orobale yo 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 tsoga tsoga.
Kere toa toa toa.
Oroba ay yo 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 tsoga tsoga.
Manja.
Await.
Away, two. High moral.
Hide.
High discipline. High moral. High discipline. Viva the ANC Youth League, the ANC Youth League, viva!
Viva.
Viva the ANC Youth League, the ANC Youth League, viva! Viva President Peter Mokaba, viva! Viva President Peter Mokaba, viva! Viva the ANC, viva! Amandla! Viva President Ramaphosa, viva! Thank you very much. Comrade SG, our program director. I think it's very important that before we start SG, I know that the TSG has acknowledged our guest here. But as a sign of appreciation that they are here to support us, I will try to redo it again, but not the way the TSG did it, because it might take longer. And SG of the ANC, your NEC is correcting. The ANC NEC is correcting. We can take decisions here. Now, I think let's clap hands for National Executive Committee members who took their time to come and support the ANC Youth League. But I'll also acknowledge officials who have led the Youth League. I know they represent different generations. Most of them who are here are NEC members, but also former leaders of the ANC Youth League. But we also, comrades, must appreciate that we have 3 former SGs of the ANC Youth League here. Maybe they must stand up, including the current SG of the ANC. Maybe the former SGs must stand up, including the current SG of the ANC, so that you see that we are highly blessed. Maybe you see them again. But comrades, I know you've been here for long and highly disciplined. But I felt that I show you the power you have. What you do with it is for you to decide. But that power is a very important power. Even the SG of the ANC, he has been doing door-to-doors the whole week. He has never had so many NEC members following him. Now, SG, you see where the power is. Now, comrades, today is a very important day. The SG of the ANC will deliver a Peter Mokaba lecture. I will not be delivering the lecture to be delivered by the SG. But we felt that before we start with the delivery, we clarify and put our demands forward towards the January 8 statement that the President is going to deliver tomorrow. Because, comrades, we are not going to allow a President to deliver a January 8 statement that does not have youth interest inside. And we are officially declaring, and we know he will declare, like how Oliver Tambo declared when there was a crisis in South Africa. We are officially declaring that this year is the year of the youth. This year is the year of the youth. The same way Oliver Tambo, when he declared that the youth must declare the country ungovernable, when there was a need for us to put the people's government, this year is the same as the year when Oliver Tambo declared it, because youth unemployment is a disaster in this country. We can't have a disaster, and the president of the ANC does not declare that the year of the youth is to resolve a disaster called unemployment. Now, President, former SG of the Youth League, we know that you contributed to the writing of the declaring the year, because every year the president must declare a year. If there's an amendment on it, the amendment must happen urgently, because the delivery has not yet happened. Now it's not too late to declare this year the year of the youth. Comrades, the youth of South Africa is dispositioned from the economic activities of their own country. We can no longer explain why over 30 years later, the face of poverty in this country is still black and the face of wealth is still white. We can no longer explain why our people are still squeezed in squatter camps while minorities own over 80% of the land of this country. We can no longer explain why the face of prisons, the face of crime, the face of poverty, the face of gender-based violence, the face of corruption, the face of lack of service delivery is still black in South Africa. Our people will not understand anymore. They've responded. They've given us 40% of their support and gave 60% to all different political parties that don't represent the interest of our people. And the moment the people lose respect and trust in you, they can do anything. They can even elect a monkey to spite you. National Congress to do its best to resolve their socio-economic problems. South Africans, SG, when we honor Comrade Peter Mokaba, we have been doing door-to-door everywhere here with NEC members. They are tired of lazy councillors. They are tired of lazy mayors. They are tired of lazy officials. They are tired of lazy premiers. They are tired of lazy MECs. They are tired of lazy ministers. They are tired of laziness. They want service delivery to happen. They want their lives to change. And that cannot happen if there is no decisive leadership. If you go to a ward, Comrade Stella, the leader of local government intervention, you go to a municipality here in the Northwest, they tell you the municipality has collapsed. What more research do you want for you to change the municipality around? Fire the mayor, fire nakwa magodu le dikatse e fedile. No pula ya ke let's ka fela pelo. E kana esgale. We can't go to local government elections, Comrade SG, with lazy councillors. We have proven to you in Ward 21. We deployed Muchapalo in Ward 21. Even the president agrees that is the best. The best run ward here in the West is run by a young person. What more evidence do you need when we tell you that retired pensioners give responsibility to the youth to protect their own future? You know, Comrade SG, there are some councillors here. They can walk into a shopping center in their own ward, walk from one door to the other without anyone greeting them because no one knows them. Councillor Raisa Mahe, ibe fetche molo ishope, ibe ye haye. Usna le muto muwana mudumedishang or akisha matata. Now, who are these councillors leading? Because when you are saying that you are the parliament of the people, you mean that every day you must resolve socio-economic problems of the people. When people see you, must see you as a person who can resolve their problem, not a problem. They must not see an illegal miner when they see you as the leader of the ANC. They must not see a foreign person who hijack projects when they see you. They must see a person who can resolve problems every day in their own words. I'm a councillor because there are local government elections. Asibona fela batho afang. Babangata batho ba go tswafa. Another thing we must address, SG, it's an animal that I don't speak about. Is corruption and laziness of administrators, municipal managers. Municipal managers, they are both mayors, they are municipal managers, they are MMCs, they are law unto themselves. The ANC is painted of corruption. The real corrupt people are those who are not members of the ANC or municipal managers who steal from the poor every day, who undermine deployed comrades in government. And when we deploy again, SG, don't deploy mayors who can even open laptops. How to expect a person who can read and write to hold a CFO and a municipal manager also a degree accountable? We need to deploy the best. And we can assure you, SG, the ANC Youth League has got the best educated young people who can take charge of this country. When we are saying deploy the youth, we are not saying deploy uneducated youth. Uneducated youth, we've got spaces for them also. But in responsibilities that are high, we are going to send you the best educated young people who have the interest of South Africa at heart. SG, the structure of the economy, the way it's structured, it is not sustainable. We can't say everything is all right when minorities control 90% of the economy, while 90% of the people of South Africa are dispossessed from land and everything else. It can't be right, SG, that all our raw materials and critical minerals are exported as raw as they are to go and build industries and create jobs where there is no raw materials. It can't be right that the Northwest, the richest province called the Northwest, is one of the highest unemployment rates in South Africa. How does a province of platinum have unemployment? If anyone can explain, how does a rich province like the Northwest has unemployment? It is because, SG, the mine owners at first, they employ foreigners When they are done, they employ illegal foreigners because they want to exploit them, because they know that South Africans will stand up for their right and want to be paid according to their work. We're saying, SG, the issue of illegal foreigners, it is no longer a joke. It's an urgent matter that we must resolve because it's a security matter. We can't have illegal foreigners working in South Africa while the youth of South Africa is unemployed. We can't have foreigners working in South Africa while the youth and the women of South Africa are unemployed. You must first employ the people of your country. When you are done, now that they are all working and active in the economy, you look for others elsewhere to come and work because all your people are active in their own economy. It is not right, SG, that Monday to Monday, our township is a holiday. The youth have nothing to do Monday. We're saying, SG, introduce export quotas to respond to your resolutions of the ANC of industrialization of the economy. We need to industrialize the economy. The secondary economy must be create enough job and economic activities for the youth of this country. We're saying the minerals must not of minerals moving from the soil to the sea must end. The minerals must move from the soil to the factory to revive our secondary economy to create employment for the youth. We're giving you solutions. Our factories can't be turned into informal settlement and churches. They must be utilized to create employment for the youth, utilizing our raw material within our soil. And SG, the last matter, which is the solution we're giving you, is the issue of economic corridors. It's another resolution of the ANC that is not implemented. We're saying, SG, from high school to TVET college, every province must have compulsory courses and subjects that respond to the economic demand of their own area. In Mpumalanga, if they are strong on agriculture, every school in Mpumalanga must have agriculture as a compulsory subject. Agri-processing factory agri-processing factories must not be in Johannesburg. They must be in Mpumalanga. So the youth of Mpumalanga, when they are done in high school and they go to a TVET college nearby learning agriculture, they move there immediately to go and run the factories in that area. They don't have to migrate to Johannesburg for opportunities. If Northwest is popular of mining, every young person in the Northwest must know how to mine and went to school to learn to that. We must reskill the youth to respond to their own economic demand of their own country. What is the use of having 70% of people in the country? All of them are business managers, but in their homes there's no businesses. Everyone is a graduate of business management. Now there's a new one now called public management. Every politician that is graduating on public management. The former SG of the Youth League Conference in Google said, maybe we need an engineer to lead the country, or we need a scientist in the future, because it can't be that everyone is a public management person. We must reskill ourselves to respond to the economic demand of our own country so that we are clear drivers of the economy. How are we going to fight Donald Trump when even our own economy is not secured? Imperialism in the world is gaining confidence. Right-wingers in this country through Afro Forum are still running the economy of the country. That's why they are arrogant. That's why they can go to the USA and misrepresent South Africa and nothing happens to them. Even today, no one can explain to me why Afro Forum it is not banned as an organization in this country. How do people leave the country and misrepresent South Africa? They go to the USA, they don't tell that moron Donald Trump that the economy of the country is still run by them. The farms are run by them, the shops are run by them, the factories are run by them. They tell Donald Trump that white Afrikaners are killed in South Africa. Then Donald Trump says to them, bring them here in exile. They go around taking car cards. You know those car cards in Pinoni, these small towns. Those old white poor Afrikaners. They take them to the USA. When he arrives there, Donald Trump realizes that, but these people are not farmers. Because the real farmers who are Afrikaners still run the farms in South Africa. They will never leave their farms here in South Africa and go to the USA to be hobos. Auna skoma na go tsamaya mo a shedi orange ai mo a lo ba hobo go USA. Ba tsere di hobo mo ba di sha go USA ba re ke Afrikaners. That is a proper kidnapping. The same kidnapping that Jacob Zuma and his child did and taking poor people to Russia to be killed. There is no difference between what MK Party did and what Afro Forum did. They took advantage of poor people in this country and deported them to countries to be slaves. This country, 30 years later, Afro Forum is still an organization that controls the economy of this country. They even take the money that they've stolen to build a racist university for only Afrikaners at the expense of our people. They stole the land, they stole the mines, they exploited our people. They take the same money in our own country to go and build a university that is only set aside for white people. Looks like SG, this thing of nation building, were on it alone. We need to unite South Africa. When we are saying that we are uniting, we are saying that even the economy must reflect the demographics of the country. It can be unity on magazines of racial unity. Racism still happens in our economic corridors. The economy of this country is highly racialized to benefit those who benefit from apartheid. Now, what kind of a unity is that where majority of people are poor, minorities are rich? Now, I was saying SG, that is a radical shift you want. That is why SG, when racist right-wingers, led by moron called Donald Trump, who threaten policies that must address the injustice of the past created by apartheid, the one that's scraping of triple BE, the one that's scraping of affirmative action, was saying, SG, we will never agree to the scraping of policies that benefit majority of South Africans. We are ready to defend the policies of the ANC with our blood. We will never surrender this country. There are people like Oliver Tambo who have never seen this democracy. There are people like Chrisane who were killed, who have never seen this democracy. We are not a generation of cowards who's going to surrender this country to a racist Donald Trump who wants to control our policies. The day, SG, we surrender this country, we must just do a simple thing. Remove the flag of South Africa and put the flag of the USA because we'll be recognized. That flag of South Africa was fought for. That's why, SG, before end of February, we are going to go to the Constitutional Hill to defend the gains of freedom. We are going to mobilize all the youth, women, everyone else in South Africa to show Donald Trump that the ANC is the only parliament of the people. And the policies the ANC are pushing, they're pushing policies in the interest of the people of South Africa. President Ramaphosa does not represent this jacket. He represents the people of South Africa. If Donald Trump wants to take this country, he must first kill us. We are not going to the day the ANC surrenders to imperialism is the day we must close the ANC. We can't have an ANC that is not on the side of justice and the people of the world. The ANC, it is not formed to be an NGO. It is formed to resolve social issues of the world. It is formed for justice. It is formed to protect humankind. It is formed to protect the rights of the people. It is the only platform of the voiceless. Whether you're in Palestine, whether in Venezuela, whether you are anywhere else, anywhere where there is injustice, the ANC fights for justice. Now, the only economic war we must do now, SG, because we must starve that USA. Comrade Zugo, kasivale ley'kebhe eziphumayo nama-minerals eziyo e-USA, nokudla okuphumayo kuyo-USA. Let's find alternative economies to trade with, because whether you like it or not, the USA is coming here for war. Now when you fight, Comrade Zugo, you fight with what they have. They have weapons, we have what they need. We must starve them. Singasabanika ama-orange wethu nama-banana wethu Zuku. Abanakudla labantu baphila ngathi. You and Comrade Parks must find alternative economies. The war is coming. Whether you postpone it, whether you go to White House or not, they went to White House, the SGs and the presidents, everyone else. Donald Trump cartooned them there because he's a racist moron. Our president was made to explain some video of some leader of the opposition. But missing any our power president, you explain to another president. A president of the country explaining himself to another president of another country. Ubugwala obungaka. Ubugwala lobo. Ministers take our taxpayers' money. They take flights, they book hotels to go to the USA to explain themselves. Everyone who went to the USA must pay back that money. Abaroma ke rena ko USA ba iketse. I'm sure they've even traveled business class. They must pay back the money of South Africans. We need that money to build schools. We need that money to build universities. We can't have a small budget. On top of the small budget, Bozuko, Bachadi flight to USA to explain themselves to a racist moron called Donald Trump. Mokete wa dikatse le dikatsinyana o fedile. This ANCYL clique is going to hold everyone accountable. SG, as I conclude to give you a space to give a lecture, but the Lion of the North was fearless. We have two options. It's either you request the national chair of the ANC to come and explain himself in public, or the ANC explains itself in public. Failure two. Both the national chair and the SG of the ANC will not find peace from the ANCYL clique until they apologize for reckless statements. Kuzamele mchuchis. And tomorrow, because the ANC leadership, they're saying they don't believe that is unemployment. We're saying that before the president addresses tomorrow, we must all take our CVs to the stage to show the president that we're unemployed. The president must never address the January 8 until he receives all the CVs of young people who are unemployed here. We requested the president to declare unemployment a disaster. Tomorrow, SG will be wearing our Youth League t-shirts, charging to the stage, led by myself as the president of the Youth League, to submit CVs of the youth of this country. Because no one can explain why the ANC has not said anything when society was told that the youth is lazy, they can't do that, they can't apply there for jobs, they're not doing anything, they're sitting at home enjoying poverty. The ANC must explain why it took them 2 weeks for them to address that urgent matter. Now tomorrow, Comrade SG, we are coming with our CVs to the stage to submit to the African National Congress. And SG was saying, we don't want ministers and deputy ministers and mayors to tell us what they think. We want them to think what the ANC thinks. They must implement resolutions of the African National Congress. We don't want their brains. The ANC has already deployed them and gave them a program of action. Their job is to implement the program of action. And we believe that if the resolutions of the ANC are all implemented, there will be no need for us to do door to door. Because those resolutions are so beautiful, they can resolve all problems of this country. Inzima lendlela. Inzima lendlela.
Meva yahlaba sizuzabala inameva yahlaba sizuzabala Ambiva, Hiaslava, Sizuza, Mandla, Awetu, Amandla, Awetu. Thank you, President. The message was loud and clear. Comrades, we are now going to call upon the second Deputy Secretary General of the ANC to come and introduce the SG. Can we welcome the DSG?
Mandla, away two. Viva, 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 ANC Youth League, viva. Thank you very much, Comrade Zakane. I think I shouldn't take so much time because comrades have been here for quite a while. The person, of course, that I'm going to be introducing, of course, is someone that everyone know. Comrade Fikile Mbalula, as Comrade President said, was the Secretary General of the ANC Youth League, and later he became the President of the ANC Youth League. It was only him and Comrade Nelson Mandela that actually occupied those two positions in the ANC Youth League. Comrade Fikile Mbalula, of course, if you may remember, and I think I need to raise this, I think it was in 2019, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, I had to ask him, and I think he's one of the few comrades that we can actually say that they were willing to leave their blue lights in not Lutuli House, in government, to go to Lutuli House, to go and run the elections. It is for this reason that when he left Mahlambandlovu to go to Lutuli House to run elections, ANC was able to at least get 57% in 2019, comrades. So this is the Secretary General of the ANC, the mighty ANC. All of us know him, of course, as Comrade Razmataz, Mr. Fear Fokol, or Comrade Fear Fokol. Comrade, this is the SG of the ANC.
Amandla, Amandla, awethu, Maka. Thank you, Program Director. I've been talking a lot, comrades. My voice is not up to scratch. But I will try very hard to do what I've been asked to do. Program Director, the Secretary General of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Zakane, Shiviti, the Lioness of the North, the second woman to occupy that position in the ANC Youth League. After Comrade Phoebe Potgieter, auna ya tshwanang le wena. Comrade President of the Youth League, the young lion from Sekhukhune in the north, Comrade Collen Malatji, the militant president of the ANC Youth League. Comrade Collen is a militant, he's not a rascal. He represents the views of the youth. All what is said here today is reflective of a president who leads young people who are aiming for leadership. Comrade Malatji is a militant youth president. And President, I want to say to you, all the things you said here today are the things that must be implemented. We must, the revolution needs us to do things. We are in power. We must not complain like we are not in power. Who's governing this country? It's us, the African National Congress. And you as the Youth League of the ANC, If the ANC is not doing things for the youth, you've got the right to march and do any other thing you want to do to make the ANC run. I spoke to the national chair. He said he's misquoted. And if he's misquoted, he must clarify himself about that misquotation. Because what the media is saying the national chair have said that the youth are lazy and all of that, and that people have got CVs, they must go and find a job for themselves. So that matter, comrades, must be clarified. If it is not clarified, it will remain that the national chair have said that young people are lazy. They do not apply for jobs. That's what the media have said. And that matter, comrades, is not a joking matter. It's a serious matter. It must be clarified properly. And the national chair have promised me that he have said that to Collen, we must not talk past each other. Comrade Gwede, if he was not properly quoted, he must get to the media in the coming week and clarify himself on that particular matter. If he does not clarify himself, I will issue a statement on behalf of the ANC to reprimand him that if those are the views, they cannot be the views of the national chair of the African National Congress. They must be explained. Comrades, we don't have a luxury to talk past each other. We are governing this country. And we must make things happen. We must implement policies of our movement within the constraint of the government of national unity. The president of the ANC Women's League, Comrade Sisisi Tolash, wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo uza kufa finish and clear. Malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi. The Secretary General of the Women's League, I'm told she's here, Comrade Noktula. Secretary General of the ANC Women's League, the energetic Noktula, Secretary General of our women. Comrade members of the National Executive Committee, who some of them were members of the ANC Youth League and led the ANC Youth League at a given point in time. Some of them did not finish the term of office. They were disbanded by the ANC. But when we came in, we assured the Youth League that under our stewardship, Youth League will never be disbanded. Never. Our role as leadership is to guide the Youth League and not to muzzle the Youth League. We must give them politics. We must guide them politically. The ANC Youth League is a necessary irritation in the African National Congress. As if only Youth League that behave like old people. There must be a difference between Collen Malatji and Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa is the president of the ANC. And Collen Malatji can't be Cyril Ramaphosa overnight. If then he becomes Cyril Ramaphosa, we will have to find a way to get rid of him and go and find a proper Youth League president who will lead the youth. Comrades and compatriots, we are deeply honored for the invitation to deliver this lecture as we remember and commemorate the life and times of a giant of our revolution, Comrade Ramushwana, Peter Mokaba. I've seen the comrades from Limpopo who come from the region of Peter Mokaba, led by the chairperson, John Mpe. I've seen them here today. And they organized a very intensive program which we attended with Tsakani in Limpopo, celebrating the life and times of Peter Mokaba. I want us to give them a good round of applause, because our struggle is about remembering against forgetting. Comrade Peter Mokaba was a gallant revolutionary comrade and a selfless leader who rose through the ranks of our youth structures to become president of the ANC Youth League. He was part of a brave generation that President O.R. Tambo mandated to make South Africa ungovernable and the apartheid system unworkable. In doing so, comrades, he and his youth generation unequivocally answered Frantz Fanon's clarion call in that, I quote, every generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it, close quote. This commemoration, comrades, of the life of a patriot whose fire was extinguished too soon, takes place at the backdrop of the celebration of 114 fighting years of our glorious movement, the African National Congress. As we embark on a path to rebuild the trust and confidence of our people in the ANC, the life of Peter Mokaba gives us many examples to emulate in our renewal agenda. This commemoration equally takes place against the backdrop of a dramatic shift in geopolitics. The recent events of the United States military adventurism into the sovereign territory of Venezuela and the abduction of a head of state and his wife in his own country have duly received condemnation from across the world, even amongst many Western countries. This is because, comrades, it is a direct affront to the United Nations Charter and an assault on sovereign nation at a time when the majority of the progressive global community is looking for stability and the advancement of a multilateral order. The ANC, comrades, stands firm that international law must be respected by all states, without exception. The United States of America, Donald Trump, can't impose himself on the world as a world policeman. The principles of sovereign equality, non-interference and peaceful resolution of deep disputes are the bedrock of a just international order. Their selective application erodes trust, fuels instability, and disproportionately harms developing countries and oppressed people across the globe. That is why we agree and join the president of the Youth League that we must mobilize against imperialist aggression in our country. South Africa is being targeted and isolated by Donald Trump in the wake of the illegal Venezuela military incursion. The Trump administration invoked, comrades, what we call the Monroe Doctrine, a 19th century dinosaur of American foreign policy. By invoking the Monroe Doctrine, the United States have abandoned all pretenses about its imperialist ambitions that see the Western Hemisphere as its backyard and scant regard for the sovereignty of other nations. We are under no illusions about what the Monroe Doctrine is. It is a doctrine of American imperialism that spits in the face of the United Nations Charter and only seeks to uphold American hegemony at all costs, which subordinates the rights of other nations to those of the United States. History, comrades, has unmasked the Monroe Doctrine as the antithesis of democracy and a weapon to force sovereign nation to do Washington's bidding, no matter what the cost is. The use of lies and subterfuge to justify the US illegal actions that violate international law is an age-old tactic to justify the unjustifiable. Here in South Africa, they said we are killing white people. They call it a genocide. Our president went to the United States of America. We went as the ANC to the United States of America. I went to the United States with Zuko Kodlimpi. We explained to the Americans. I see Collen want a refund now about our trips. We explained to them that there is no genocide in South Africa. And there is no genocide in South Africa. Donald Trump, told by Elon Musk, a spoiled brat, which was born here in our country and went to the United States of America and become a naturalized citizen, fabricated this propaganda. And this subterfuge we're talking about, we in South Africa have witnessed that. Trade relations have been threatened to break down based on lies that we're killing white people. And if I ask you a question, comrades, which is basic about economics of our country, who is the richest man or men in this country? It is white made, and you can mention them. Democracy has produced Patrice Motsepe and a few. But it's only Patrice Motsepe, among others, we can call a billionaire. Black people have not even come close to managing and controlling the means of production in our country. This country is dominated by male white people who run the economy of the country. Have you seen an unemployed white person? Have you seen a white person who lives in a shack? I went to Australia with the Springboks. White people left this country and ran to Australia. There in Australia, they are living like hobos. They regret the fact that they left their country under the threat that the communists are going to take over. The biggest beneficiaries of our laws of transformation and opening up the economies of Africa to trade with South Africa, it is white companies that dominate the monopoly of economies in the African continent. They've doubled their profits out of a democracy. And yet today, they went to America and badmouth our country. Donald Trump invited them to apply for citizenship. Only 49 white car guards went to America. And when they arrived in America, comrades, let me tell a story. Abafetsa li khwedi ba le America ke aba bolayana kwa. Ba bolayana ka sigolo. Because Makhoa, most of the time they kill each other based on personal breakdown of relationships, which has got nothing to do with an attack. What South Africa is doing, and the ANC, is to advance the agenda of transformation. So you must understand, comrades, why it is important that we must mobilize the rest of society to defend our sovereignty as South Africa and to defend South Africa against imperialist aggression by the United States of America. We are a constitutional state. We are a constitutional democracy. We are not a dictatorship. But we have been isolated and been attacked systematically. We constituted government here, even with people we differ with ideologically, and constituted a government of national unity within 14 days. So our democracy is not under threat from what Donald Trump has said. Comrades, the beating of war drums by the Trump administration, threatening military action to annex Canada and Greenland, attack Iran, and orchestrate regime change in Colombia, and act against Mexico, exposes America's imperial ambitions that will plunge the world into absolute chaos. As an oppressed black person, growing up at the height of apartheid in the dusty streets of Mankweng in Polokwane, Peter Mokaba was involved in the underground activities of Umkhonto weSizwe, the military wing of the African National Congress. Anti-imperialism, alongside anti-colonialism and fighting against apartheid tyranny, have always been central tenets of our liberation struggle. Comrades, this selfless commitment to the struggle by Comrade Peter Mokaba resulted in his imprisonment on the notorious Robben Island in 1982, after his release from prison in 1984. He joined the United Democratic Front, UDF. In 1987, he became the first president of the South African Youth Congress, which among various UDF structures was disbanded post-1990 in favor of the united political leadership of our glorious movement, the African National Congress and its structures. Peter Mokaba became the first president of the Youth League after the unbanning in South Africa. Program Director Peter Mokaba, this great revolutionary, has bequeathed us a lasting legacy from which we can draw valuable lessons. A pertinent question we should ask ourselves as we commemorate his notable life and achievements is, what are we doing today as a country and as individual South Africans to uphold his legacy? But also, when looking at the illustrious political life of Peter Mokaba, it is important for us as current leaders and members of the ANC to make a sober assessment and ponder on this question. Are we worthy heirs of the legacy of this icon? His legacy of selfless struggle for the freedom and emancipation of our people across race, gender, and class. This is important, comrades, in the context of renewal of our glorious movement that requires decisive leadership, steeped in the historical mandate of our revolution, as spearheaded through the headway of the National Democratic Revolution. This question, comrades, is particularly important for the youth, the future leaders of this country, as we reiterate Frantz Fanon's assertion that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. Comrades, your task as the youth and the Youth League is to also imbue the ANC with new ideas. You must give us ideas, because as leaders we might have reached inertia in terms of strategic thinking. The ANC Youth League was created by the ANC to become a training ground ideologically and give ANC new ideas. In remembering Comrade Peter's life, we must do so with the context of broader struggle and the contribution of the youth of 70s and 80s in the struggle for total liberation. As we remember Comrade Peter, we need to paint a picture of the environment that prevailed at the time and hard choices that the youth of the time had to make. It was not an easy decision for any young person to join the struggle, comrades. Joining the struggle meant, among others, the following three things: going to jail for a very long time, losing one's life, and or being maimed as a result of the brutality of the security forces when dealing with activists. That is why we must change from uzoyithola kanjani uhlele khoneni and say uzoyithola kanjani ungayi esikolweni. Uzoyithola kanjani? Uzoyithola kanjani? Ungayi esikolweni. Comrades, we no longer want people to sit in the corners. The Youth League must fight for the youth. We don't want young people who go to school when we have asked them to go to school. And when they leave the school, we ask them for experience. They must get experience at work. And that is what we need. And that is what we must champion. In every municipality, no young person must be turned away in every government office because he doesn't have experience. That must never happen in the face of the ANC Youth League. Comrades, those were the possibilities that faced many young men and women of the 70s and the 80s. However, the slogan, "Freedom or death, victory is certain," was the mantra that drove the youth. Indeed, political victory was achieved. Today, we are enjoying the fruits of the sacrifices that Comrade Peter and his generation and those that came before them made. As we increase the momentum of organizational renewal, we must rededicate ourselves to the values the founding leaders infused on the ANC. Comrades, today we live and breathe renewal. This thing that when people in the ANC get arrested, and the slogan that the ANC does nothing about corruption isn't correct. We fight corruption every day. We have introduced a step aside in the ANC. And then Mahodu, even if they wear our colors, if you are a crook, you are wearing an ANC t-shirt, you are a leader, you get arrested. Adiba, yeah. Mobalinte. And aba feta utwariwa. Aba jiwe ki step aside. That is what the ANC is about. We ANC comrades have got no problem. Problem kibatu. We have sent people and said they must become councillors. Larifaba to Larimuchapalo. Bachaba Palo. But some of our deployees are failing us in their area and sphere of deployment. And we must work very hard to ensure that comrades fulfill the task in the area of their deployment. It is the same generation that the late President, Comrade Oliver Tambo, bequeathed them with the title Young Lions. I heard you singing the song, Oliver, Oliver, we Tambo, Tina Sikoti, we Kai. That song was composed in 1985, the International Year of the Youth. Oliver Tambo delivered the ANC January 8 statement and declared the Year of the Youth. In 1985, Oliver Tambo, on behalf of the National Executive Committee, gave the youth an honor and said, these are death-defying young lions. In 1987, in Cape Town, underground, we formed the South African Youth Congress. And the first president of SEICO was Peter Mokaba. In 1985, the state of emergency was introduced. In 1987, Legranje introduced the second state of emergency when we formed SEICO in Belleville underground in Cape Town. Comrades, this organization you have inherited of Peter Mokaba, it is an organization of militants. To join this organization was a signature of death. Hence, Oliver Tambo said death-defying. The ANC Youth League, Peter Mokaba said, quoting from Lenin, the youth must learn. Peter Mokaba said, when he was imprisoned at John Foster Square, rather die to a man than to let the enemy pass. Peter Mokaba said, the youth must learn, but not just learn. They must learn historical and dialectical materialism. They must be armed with tools of analysis. Comrades, the revolution cannot be pursued without knowledge. You will make mistakes. It cannot be pursued without knowledge. When Peter Mokaba died, he had passed his master's in economics with the University of London. And Peter Mokaba encouraged all of us and the youth to learn. And like now, the Youth League of Collen Malatji, it is the Youth League that has made education fashionable. For the first time now, we start to hear of people acquiring doctorates in the African National Congress Youth League. And that is the Youth League of Collen Malatji. Comrades, you must never apologize for taking part in the economy. This economy is not only about tenders. It's about owning the mines. It's about participating in the means of production of this economy. It's about ensuring that young people do emerge from entrepreneurs to become petty bourgeoisies. It can't be Mutsipe alone. And that is why nationalization of the Reserve Bank is a resolution of the ANC. It must be implemented. Comrades, expropriation of land without compensation when we get back our power must be implemented. Comrades, we lost many opportunities when we got 2/3 majority. Peter Mokaba was still alive. And the collusion we are still going to have with Donald Trump and the Americans challenging transformation in our country is going to be around what we are going to do when we get decisive power to govern this country. We must stop complaining and behave like as if we are not in power. We are governing this country. President Ramaphosa has faced 2 or 3 big challenges at the moment when he became president of the ANC that none has ever faced. A natural disaster, monumental, called COVID-19. COVID-19 was a natural, monumental disaster. Secondly, he faced the issue of corruption in the form of state capture, which have then affected the ANC's standing in society to a point where we are associated with corruption. Thirdly, he faced internal turmoil through another old man who decided to form a political party. And I'm not going to mention him. And he was arrested. And there was a revolt in this country. Fourthly, is economic recession and what has affected us in terms of the cost of living in our country. We need to shift the sense of time to ensure that things are in our favor. Comrade, we come into this January 8 with great enthusiasm. The green shoots in the economy that we have seen towards the end of last year are beginning to bear fruit for the economy. And that in itself will lead to the addressing of unemployment in our country. Comrade Peter Mokaba's generation gave much needed impetus to the liberation struggle. Your generation is faced even with an even difficult task, more than Peter Mokaba. It was easy to wake up and see a hippo and know that is the enemy. Today, you don't know who's the enemy. You wake up, you've got to see who is this enemy of the youth and of our revolution. It's not clearly defined. That is why the Youth League then defined the twin tasks: to mobilize for the ANC part to champion the cause, socio-economic cause of the youth, and deliver the youth to the African National Congress. Your task, comrades, is difficult. But you are the largest political youth formation in the country. There is no political party that has got a youth league like yourselves. It is only the ANC. Even in terms of membership, you are bigger than even some of our allies. I won't mention by name because Isabili Kugulond. But with numbers, Youth League is bigger than some of our allies. Masiyeke up. Fifthly, Ramaphosa faced, and this leadership, the disintegration of the tripartite alliance. Who else would have thought that today we will be debating the Communist Party standing on its own? We are there. We are witnessing. This revolution, and ask yourself a question and become diplomatic when you have been attacked by the United States of America. Revolution in its very nature, it's about mobilization. We must mobilize, we must conscientize people, we must teach our people about the dangers we are facing in our society. And the fact that this struggle that we are leading is not over. That is the task of the ANC Youth League. We must not be wishy-wishy. We don't want a sheepish ANC Youth League. That think twice. As long as you are not insulting people, Collen, you will be defended by me. But if you insult people, ndizakuchuchisa. Ndikufake endleleni, ndikolule kakuhle. You must talk politics and lead the revolution and not insult. And you must lead. Everything you said here today, it's fine, it's the Youth League. Other people are worried. Hey, SGs is IT Nilendo. We must not be worried every time Collen opens his mouth and says something to society. He's leading the youth and he must lead them correctly. And that is what is important. Peter Mokaba was a militant. He was not a rascal. He was a radical. And that is what the Youth League legacy of Peter Mokaba has left. Comrades, as I move towards conclusion, to emulate and follow on Peter Mokaba generation, the current youth need to protect the integrity and image of this movement and serve as bulwark of unity and cohesion of the ANC. To teach the principles, culture, and ethos of our movement, especially to those who have recently joined the movement. You must teach and educate all on the value system of the ANC. You must grasp and understand our theory of revolution and the ability to articulate its strategic objective, that of building a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous society. You know, the degeneration of the revolution is when revolutionaries start to quote the Bible more than dialectics. There is nothing wrong with the Bible, it's the RDP of the soul. But Suskoteli Bible, from the beginning to the end. ugqitha irevolution yomzabalazo. Siyathandaza sonke. Siyakholelwa kwizinyanya. We believe in ancestors. But the revolution is guided by theory. Okay? Not by the Bible. The Bible is a spiritual guide in terms of what you can believe in as a human being. That is fundamental. Ungakoti iBhayibheli xa uvula meeting uyoyikota xa uvulayo uyovala meeting. Yekela iBhayibheli nomthandazo kumfundisi. And then nina niqhube itheory ye-revolution. You can't be less knowledgeable about the revolution and the tools of analysis more than any other thing. And the Youth League must be cautious about that. And I'm saying this without any fear of contradiction. You see, comrades, it's also like this thing of confusing comradeship. And I like these basics. Comradeship with friendship. You can't lead the Youth League with friendship because you drink together, you are buddies. That is friendship. It's not comradeship. The fact that I can sit with the president of the Youth League and all of that, and then we are friends, it ends there. But comradeship is bigger than that. I see some of our comrades struggling to explain comradeship at Madanga Commission. A comrade is somebody who's in KwaZulu-Natal you have never met. A comrade is somebody in the Northern Cape you have never met. A comrade is somebody in the Western Cape, in Limpopo, in the Free State, in Northwest you have never met. Is your comrade. Because what brings you together is the love of fighting for the liberation of our people. That is comradeship. A comrade is somebody you are sharing the trenches with. A friendship can expire anytime. I'm your friend because we share things that there are things that me and you will love. You like Louis Vuitton, it's friendship, I buy it for you. You only get to end when you are dead. That's comradeship. That's why when you contest in a conference, you are not when you contest in a conference, you are not contesting with a friend. You are contesting your comrade who tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow that person will still wake up being your comrade. Comradeship never expires. It's not a fashion. But friendship does expire. You sit here with somebody who was your friend and you ask, because when you make it in life up the ladder, your friend is not coming. He starts to develop what is jealousy. There is not jealousy in comradeship. Ayiko lonto emzabalazweni. Jealous. Ayiko. There is no gossip in comradeship. You tell your comrade face to face. Once you start to bring friendship tendencies into comradeship, that's when the organization dies. Because you start gossiping each other in the organization. So Peter Mokaba was a comrade. He was a revolutionary. He was a militant. He was an organic intellectual. And let me tell you a story, comrades, of Peter Mokaba. Peter Mokaba served in the cabinet of Nelson Mandela. He was a deputy minister of environmental affairs. In the next cabinet led by President Mbeki, we had expectations that he will be made minister in full. And it so happened, given the president's prerogative, Peter Mokaba was not appointed into cabinet. And as the Youth League, we were very angry with President Mbeki. And we were devising tendencies that were wrong, including marching to the president, issuing a statement. Those are tendencies. And then we met at Peter Mokaba's house. Among others, I can mention Phoebe Potgieter was there. Peking Kosi was there. Nkenkeke Kana was there. And many other comrades were there. Peter Mokaba said to us in his house, comrades, the day you are going to fight for me for a position, that will be the death of the revolution and the African National Congress. And Peter Mokaba said, to serve in cabinet, to be appointed by the president, it's a privilege, it's not a right. Lento yenu today nicinga ubazi mayor nama councillor is a right. It's not a right. Siyakususa xa sifuna ukususa. Sifaka abanye abasebenzayo. Organizer di march ko Luthuli House, especially mo Northwest. Liarata march etsa kwa. And a Collen banka youth mo ba marchetse kwa ko Luthuli House ba lwanela diposo tsa bo mayor. And some of them are not working. And then they are very good in mobilizing marches for them not to be removed. Peter Mokaba never fought for a position. And comrades, that is what organizationally we must emulate. I conclude with a quote from President Thabo Mbeki. In his speech during the commemoration of June 16 in 2008, Comrade Thabo Mbeki challenged young people to become role models when he said, I quote, "Good role models among us, the best young lions, must be those who work with the community, who help the poor, who volunteer to help improve their neighborhoods, who give due respect to other members of the community, including the elderly and people with disabilities, and those who respect the values of Ubuntu and good moral conduct," close quote. Comrades, this is how we should remember Comrade Ramushwana and Peter Mokaba. Amanda! Away too! Kiribata bata! Kiribata! Kiribata bata! Kiribata! Kiribata bata! Kiribata! Kia marumo! Marumo! Kia marumo! Asicha! Kia marumo! Marumo! Kia marumo! Asicha! Amanda! Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, SG. Part and parcel of what is discussed in the Youth League is that we must elect leaders in the ANC who were trained by the only organization that train young people, which is the ANC Youth League. The ANC cannot be led from the streets. The ANC will be led from people who are coming from the ranks of the ANC Youth League, because we know that this is a training ground of all cadres of our movement. If you can look here in the stage, you'll see that this is a reflection of former leaders of ANC Youth League who are leading the NEC of the ANC, and they are doing very well. Thank you, SG. And we are now going to proceed. Today we are celebrating the life of the Lion of the North, Comrade Peter Mokaba. We've organized here a cake. We're going to do cake cutting in honor of President Peter Mokaba. So we're going to request the SG of the ANC to come to the front here. Where are we taking the cake? Are we doing it from here, from outside? The cake. Yes. So we're going down there. Okay, we are going to call the SG of the ANC and the former president of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, joined by the second Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Marupeng Ramohopa, who's also a former NEC member of the ANC Youth League. Comrades were fine there by the NEC of the ANC. I will also call the president of the Women's League and the SG of the Women's League to join with former presidents and Secretary General of the ANC Youth League to join us down there with the officials of the ANC Youth League to do the cake cutting. SG, can we humbly request that you move through here, followed by the second SG, with the president, deputy president of ANC Youth League. You are also going, former SG. And the former SGs, Maduna. Comrade Njabulo Nzuza, Comrade Ntotolo Ngudle. How many formats do you have? Huh? I'm coming.
I'm just collecting.
Okay. Must fit somewhere. Yana next to
FG, fine.
Who's running this process? Sorry.
You can still run it.
You can come here. President will be here. So the SG will come.
Who can sing?
Huh?
Huh? I will play happy birthday.
Our young Madala here will assist us. There's a young Madala, the artist, who will assist us as and when we are doing cake cutting. The young Madala.
Mandla! Viva President Peter Mokaba! Viva! Viva the ANC! Viva! Akise SG akenye mapiano abahle. Now and I can sing. But I know that you can't sing also TP, you are disabled like me. Where is Pasek? Happy birthday to Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Your way. Happy birthday.
Can we welcome young Madala on the stage, as and when we prepare the second DSG to give us a vote of thanks? Can you perform for us as and when we celebrate the life of President Peter Mokaba? People of sound, can you assist?
She's probably somewhere here.
Can people of sound assist our artist who is going to perform for us?